The EU is funding the Syrian terrorist leader Ahmed al-Sharaa with hundreds of millions of euros.
We want to strengthen our engagement with financial support of around 620 million euros for this year and for the next year.
That's correct. European taxpayer money is being sent to a man who has killed thousands of people and who once had a $10 million U.S. bounty on his head because of his ties to Al-Qaeda.
Ahmed al-Sharaa, Syria's president, once fought U.S. troops and led an al-Qaeda-backed group.
And the EU is not alone in this. The U.S. is also supporting the Syrian terrorist leader with tens of millions in U.S. dollars. And President Donald Trump has even praised al-Sharaa as a young, attractive guy, a tough guy, and someone with a very strong past.
I met the new leader of the country, and he's got a strong past. I'd be very nice. He got a strong past, but I liked him a lot.
At the same time, reports continue emerging from Syria describing horrific massacres and the persecution of Christians and other religious minorities under the al-Sharaa regime. Hello, I'm Michael. This is Southern Realism, a channel about power, geopolitics, and decline. For years, Western governments told their populations that radical jihadist movements represented one of the greatest threats facing civilization.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Protracted and disastrous wars were fought in the name of defeating terrorism. Americans and Europeans spent trillions of dollars, destabilized entire regions, and destroyed countless lives in the so-called war on terror.
Our nation is waging a war on a radical network of terrorists.
And now the European Union is openly funding a man who once would have been presented as the embodiment of that threat. Yes, al-Sharaa changed his name. He trimmed up his beard, and he put on an expensive Italian suit. But he is the same terrorist leader, and the West has cozied up to him. The same governments that spent years presenting Islamist extremism as an existential danger are now rapidly normalizing and legitimizing a former jihadist leader because their geopolitical priorities have changed. And perhaps the most remarkable part is how quickly all of this happened. Not very long ago, there was a $10 million American bounty on the head of Ahmed al-Sharaa.
The United States has lifted a $10 million bounty on Ahmed al-Sharaa.
Now he is being welcomed diplomatically in Washington, D.C. and Europe and praised publicly.
Be very nice. He got a strong past, but I liked him a lot.
Meanwhile, Christians and other religious minorities in Syria who were once protected under the previous government that the West and Israel helped overthrow, say what you will about that government, but it did protect these religious minorities. Well, now they are reporting killings and widespread persecution and fear under the al-Sharaa regime.
They murdered our religious minorities, including women and children.
And yet Western governments continue moving towards normalization anyhow. Now that contradiction is the real story here. And we, ordinary people, are simply expected to accept the new EU and US narrative on this without any questions. One year a man is dangerous enough to justify a multi-million-dollar bounty on his head. The next year, Western leaders in Europe and the US are shaking his hand, praising him, and sending him money. Now that should force people to ask serious questions, not just about the moral outrage of all of this, not just about Syria, but about the credibility and consistency of the EU and US foreign policy itself.